All right, I'm going to start this. Unless you want to take it, John.
Oh, yeah, I got the next 3 weeks.
Hey there, welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits. Coming to you from the Recycle Garage here in sunny Santa Cruz, California. Hey everyone, this is Liza, and I gotta explain a couple things. First of all, if you're watching the video, I'm wearing a mask because Morgan and I are in the studio here, and I am playing it safe. I'm getting on a plane in a few days, and I have not been in a room with a person unmasked for a long time, so we're just playing it extra safe. Also, I got a cold.
Liza, before you go any further, I mean, my concern is you being stuck in a room with a man.
I know. Well,
you know, are you going to be able to control yourself, darling?
I am stuck in a room with a gentleman.
I need protection.
Yeah. He needs protection from me.
I'm worried about Morgan. I'm really worried about your behavior. I mean, all this testosterone is bound to make you bubble, darling. Bubble.
Well, let's get to who is here. As I said, with me here in the studio, it's Morgan.
Hello.
I love your voice.
It's been a while.
I love your voice.
Thanks.
Coming to us from her library, it's Miss Emma.
Hello, darlings.
It's pronounced library.
Library.
Librarium, the librarium. So, no, it's nice to be back. I mean, you know, I was, I believe, what was I doing last week? I was traveling back.
Yes.
From Napa, California. So I'm back. And here I am. And give it the beans, darling.
Give it the beans.
Excellent.
And joining us from the land of the redwoods, it's Stumpy John.
What's up, everybody? I'm so glad I could join you tonight. It's glad you could have me in your life.
Yeah, that got weird.
That's very sweet. That's very sweet, John. You know, I mean, the thing is, we might be uninvited guests in people's lives. You know, it's like, oh, fucking hell, we got to listen to the Misfits again because there's nothing on TV, you know? But it is nice that people invite us into their lives.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you guys ever had a dog who was an excellent greeter? Doesn't matter what your day was like when you come home, that dog is just so happy to see you, and it just like changes the mood. Well, I have to say, for me, Bagel is that dog, because every time Bagel comes on, he's got a grin, and it just makes it look like everything's going to be all right. Hey, Bagel.
And he also looks like he's a lot of fun to pet.
I know, right?
Greetings from my garage.
Yes, greetings, Bagel. Have you ever seen Bagel wag his tail?
On the dance floor? Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
Was that
there it is. There it is.
Is that you call your tail, or is that what is that? So I've seen somebody helicopter their tail once.
Well, it's more of a rump, but
Oh my
I
heck.
don't do the helicoptering thing. Sorry.
My heck. Just some updates. Yeah, I am getting on a flight to Pakistan in a few days, and I came down with this horrible cold. So,
Oy.
but I've already been to the doctor. I'm on antibiotics. I plan on getting rid of this because the last thing I want to do is get on a 24-hour flight with a cough.
Oh yeah, in this day and age.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope to be better, and I feel okay. I just have a cold, and yes, I did take 2 tests, and I do not have COVID. I'm very happy to report.
You don't have the Rona, darling.
I don't have the Rona, but I do have mites.
What?
God almighty. You got crabs.
All right. How do I get out of this room?
Do we need to get
Out the window.
You got crabs too, buddy.
Oh, I love seafood.
Liza, do we need to get you some ivermectin?
Oh, God.
Oh, that's sold out. So, you know, last week I was talking about that just the Africa twin just may be too big. We had a lot of great people write in with kind of their own stories, and it was really interesting to see how many people have kind of gone through the same thing and been in the same place. Some came through, some switched to different bikes. We'll read emails later, but I just want to say thanks to everyone who commented. I just find myself looking at more bikes now. You know, we had Rick came by on his Tenere 700. And I was kind of looking at that like, hello, you know, It's like when you get, the new girl in town. You're like, oh, who's that? Let's check it
Yeah,
out.
but you just hold on there, Liza. See,
Mhm.
it's just talking about the seat height of a bike, the height of a bike, is only half the picture.
Yeah, Emma, that's height.
It is how that bike carries its weight.
Yeah.
And as you found out, your Africa Twin, especially when you fuel it up, has an extremely high center of gravity. Now compare that to a BMW GS, which is probably heavier and as tall, but carries its weight extremely low. So I mean, you need to look at the broadest picture.
And I haven't found the right bike yet, but I have another bomb to drop on y'all.
I have the perfect bike for you.
Oh.
Well, what bike is that?
Stretch Booster.
Yeah, okay, there it is.
It's a perfect bike for everyone. Good
You want
Lord.
Emma? You want to hear my other bomb I'm dropping? This is just me. I'm reflecting and really just thinking. No, I decided that I would be okay with selling the KLR 650 as well.
What?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, you could always get another one. It's not like they're hard to find.
Yeah, but you have been one of the most staunch defenders of the KLR 650.
Mhm.
I will step up to the plate and say I have oftentimes, I've never derided the KLR 650. I think it's a good bike. I don't think it's a great bike,
Right.
but I think it's a good bike. But you have been such a defender of that bike.
Yes.
Why? Do you think it's just certain requirements for you?
No, it's not that bike. It's that if I'm looking at that has been my mid-sized adventure bike.
Yes.
Well, if I'm looking at downsizing the Africa Twin to maybe a 7 to 850, then it kind of now encroaches into the purpose spot for the KLR 650. And I just realized it'd be a little too redundant. And that's one of my rules. All my bikes have to have a completely different purpose and function. That's how I justify having so many bikes. So if I'm getting a mid-sized adventure bike, sell the Africa Twin, it would seem like might as well sell the KLR 650 too.
Okay.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. But I mean, it just all depends. I mean, I still have the 690 Enduro as a lightweight bike, and I don't know. And then I still have the 990 SMT that for doing, distance.
I've got to be honest with you, Liza. This morning, when I showed up, I completely forgot you still had the SMT. Smitty.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
that's just another thing. I thought, well, you know what? And you know what made me come to that is I had somebody who wanted to rent it on Twisted Road, and then they canceled and said, I was just trying to rent it because my bike is in the shop and I use it as a daily commuter. But now it looks like I need to buy a new bike. Do you sell bikes instead? And I'm like, no. Ooh. Huh. And that's what got me thinking. But I do have a rental for it tomorrow. So the KLR is going out to somebody else for a few days. So it's getting some use. But I don't know. It's kind of interesting. And I assume that everybody goes through this. I think we all, when we buy a bike, you think this is your forever bike. But I find that for me, my needs have changed as I changed, as I age, as I move, as my interests change.
As you grow as a person.
Right.
As she accelerates through womanhood.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think that's
Deal
why
with new emotions and new chemicals coursing through her veins.
Yes.
I'm going through the change.
It's beautiful, like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon.
I wouldn't describe it as that.
But I just find it interesting, and I think other people probably go through this too, which I think is why when somebody shares with us like a bike they've had a long time, like Emma, you were showing us a picture of a gentleman and his Triumph that he's had for how long?
That bike he bought brand new at the end of 1973.
And when I find that somebody has had a bike that long, like, oh, there are people who have forever bikes, like there truly are. But it makes me wonder, like, have they not grown as a person?
I'm just in my head. I've been casting a Lifetime movie about the woman, like someone like yourself, who's going through a need of different bikes. Got all this is the like a special Hallmark classic, but there's no such Lifetime movie like this. They never have the strong female lead who has a love of motorcycles. Just what a void in their audience right
and
there.
I'm going to ask an even bigger question. As somebody who's never been married myself, but some of you are married here. I'm just wondering if people change and their needs for partners change, just like with bikes.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Oh boy.
Because I mean, the bike isn't.
I know.
Is it fair to compare a bike to a person? Because you got a human being on one hand, then you have.
Yes, my bikes are my partners.
Well, no, the bikes are more like pets. They're more like pets. You don't. Hopefully, you don't bang your pets.
I've heard there's a place in Texas you can send them to be trained.
15 minutes into the podcast, and Morgan is talking about bestiality.
I said hopefully not, but there was but then again, there was motosexual happened.
Yes,
and then there was an illicit relationship.
No, but really, you can draw a parallel between your life partners and your bikes that you choose. And like I said, I thought that would be my forever bike. And now I realize I've changed as a person.
So this is a justification for polygamy.
I don't know. Or is marriage a lie? I don't know. This whole thing is confusing me.
Actually, funnily enough,
Wait, hold on. Polygamy? I think you're onto something.
Or polyamory, or whatever.
Well, I do have history in my family.
Polybikery.
Sorry, yeah. Emma, you were saying?
No, and funnily enough, this is a common subject amongst those who have relationships with people, bikes, whatever. That you change, or the person you're with changes, and you don't. And there's a lovely song that was written a few years ago.
Oh no.
No, honestly, it really is quite a poignant song, and it's by a band called Future Islands, and it's called Seasons. And it basically broaches the subject that, I've changed, but you haven't, and we're apart, and it happens, Liza. It happens in relationships, just because the person you're with 10 years ago was that person then. Maybe you've changed, maybe they've changed. And so it is with bikes. When you bought that KLR, it was the perfect bike for you. Maybe now not so much.
Yeah.
Well, see, you got different needs. So sometimes you need the road, then sometimes you need to ride in the dirt.
Sometimes you need to roll around in the dirt.
I think I am a
Polymoto.
Yo, that's what I was trying to say. Come up with it. A polygamous motosexual.
Polymoto.
Polymotosexual. I'm a polymotosexual.
This is the journey of womanhood. She's discovered a new thing about herself, emerging from the chrysalis right
I
before
love them all
before
the
our very
same.
eyes. I'm so glad I'm here to witness
Wait a
this.
minute, Bagel.
Yes.
Are you a poly scooter sexual?
He's a monocyclist.
Well, I don't think sexual really comes into it. I'm a poly scooterist, I guess. I mean, I have 14 scooters, so what can I say? And
you're like Snow White with your 14 dwarves.
Well, maybe you could equate it to that. Some are dopier and sleepier than others.
So, who were the dwarves? There was Sleazy,
Grumpy,
Wanky, and Spanky.
Snotty,
Snotty, and Crappy.
There was Horny, I think.
Spunky.
Oh yes, horny, definitely.
and don't forget Sporty, Scary,
and
Baby,
thirsty.
Ginger, and Spice.
Yeah.
Do you know?
And Ginger and Posh.
I once went to a Halloween party as freshly dug up Spice.
Oh,
Yes.
oh my.
Yes, no, it was quite something to behold. But yeah, polyscooterist. That fits you down to a T, Bagel.
Well, and because I think that Morgan actually is onto something where it is almost like pets, because I've said on more than one occasion that a lot of my scooters just followed me home. You know, I couldn't leave them out there on the street. You know, like these were bikes that were just kind of in danger of just being trashed, and I scooped them up at the right moment and for dirt cheap too. So I couldn't say no.
I think it's as good a time as any to talk about this again. And I've talked about this many, many times in the past, but there's value in repeating it here. If somebody says to you, can my bike take on the characteristics of me? Of course it can't. It's made out of metal and plastic and rubber. It's an inanimate object until you get on and operate it. However, you, because you are unique as a person, you operate the brakes in a certain way. You operate the clutch in a certain way. You shift gears in a certain way. You corner in a certain way. So thus, over time, the bike wears in a very, very specific way that's unique to you. And that is why, if you've had your bike for donkey's years and you lend it to somebody else and they ride it and you ride it after that, it feels different. Well, that's why. So yes, your bike can really become a very, very individual piece of machinery. It's not taking on your character, or at least not directly. It is in a mechanical way.
Does that same rule apply with wives?
I
Yes.
think.
When someone else rides it?
Well, I was going to say it's like a mattress that you develop your own, or a couch. You get your own special sleep grooves on.
I think the only person actually qualified to answer this is John, because he's very happily married, I believe.
Sometimes I am, yes.
Yes.
Most of the time.
I'm very unhappily married, and so yes, John.
Somebody reframe the question for me again. I don't know what we're talking about.
I mean,
When you let someone else ride your wife, and then you ride her. No, I thought that was the question.
Yeah, and the next time you're with her, is it awkward?
different?
Is it
Does it
awkward?
feel different? That's the question.
do you think?
I don't know how to answer that.
I'm going to phrase it properly because this is just awful. John, do you feel that over the years that you've been together, do you think your wife has taken on some of your characteristics and you've taken on some of hers?
It's the beard.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask if you have worn down spots on her.
Morgan.
No, what?
Look, he's clutching his rosary beads. See what you've done to him.
Not rosaries, but yes.
All right.
I think you do become more like each other as time goes on.
Right.
Hence the beard.
Right.
John, do you want to be rescued right now?
No, I'm fine. Yeah, rescue me. Go ahead.
Okay, because guess what time it is?
What time is it?
It is time to play a game.
Holy cow.
Wow.
It's the domain name game challenge. That's right.
How
You guys.
fancy.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the game. So I created a fun game. And I don't know how I come up with these things. In this game, I'm going to be showing you, or I'll be telling you a domain name. And these are all biker terms, right? And you have to guess what the website is. Okay? Easy enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to start with the first one. This is burnout.com. What kind of website do you think burnout.com is?
And it is a motorcycle site, or is it just?
I'm not telling you. I'm just saying burnout is a common term. What is burnout.com?
It's
underwear.
a web.
Let's see if anyone can guess.
That would be skidmark.com, Emma.
It's a website for.
Go ahead, John.
It's a website for people who enjoy crystal meth and motorcycles.
I was going to go for drugs too. I was going to go for drugs.
All right, Bagel, what's your guess?
I was going to say it's a clickbait website that posts nothing but videos of people doing burnouts on motorcycles and has all sorts of ad pop-ups and viruses and stuff on it.
Too big of a name for that.
So you want to see what it really is?
Yes.
Sure.
It is a French site for
Oh.
people with depression who have burnt out. You want to, who wants to pronounce that? Emma, what is that?
Okay, that's
Libérez-vous?
Libérez-vous de la dépression et du burn-out.
Du burnout.
Why are all the images broken?
Yeah. So it's
burned
liberate
out.
yourself. If you're depressed and you're suffering from burnout, 89% of patients see recovery.
Isn't that interesting? All right.
Oh.
So now you get an idea of how this game works. All right. So the next one is going to be, and let's see. Oh, Morgan, you can't look at the screen because you're getting to see it before they
Yeah.
do. This next one is ShinySideUp.com.
I saw a kind of logo or something, but I can't, I'm not going to say what.
ShinySideUp.com. And
I'm
anyone try and
disqualifying myself, yeah.
guess what ShinySideUp.com is?
Underwear.
Okay.
Car wax.
Ooh, good guess.
Had I not seen anything, I would have guessed coin collecting.
Okay. John?
A chromer, someone who does chroming.
Those are all good guesses. Let me get to it. It is,
My gosh, the website from
oh, sorry.
1997.
It is, I don't know. ShinySideUp.com is a picture of a waterfall on a bridge.
Domain for sale, maybe?
There's no information on this
Nothing to
at
click on.
all. At all.
Yeah.
It's a lovely
domain.
bridge, though.
Don't look at the screen, Morgan. Do not look at the screen. Okay. This next one. Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay. The next one up, fastbike.com. Fastbike.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go for delivery service.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go scooter enthusiasts.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's a forum for high speed bicycle riders.
Okay. Emma, did you guess?
I also think it's a forum, but I think it's a forum for people who love underwear.
We're going with the underwear thing still.
Yeah,
huh?
no,
Okay.
Underwear.
It'll be right eventually.
All right. So fastbike.com is a Korean computer site.
Park domain.
Wow.
No idea.
That's just a
But
park.
it has something to do with computers
No,
and it's in Korea.
That's a park domain. It's waiting for someone to. I'm sure if you email them, they'll offer you to sell you that for a whole lot of money.
So part of the interesting thing as I was working on this game is that I was finding that there's, there are domains that are available. It's really interesting. So some of these might be good for somebody. Okay. You guys ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right.
Twowheels.com.
Oh,
Twowheels.com.
Ooh, that could be anything. I'm gonna go underwear. No. Twowheels.com. I'm
And
gonna.
I'm going to let y'all know if you get anywhere close, like I'm putting a wide landing strip here. If you guys get anywheels close, you get a point. All right, twowheels.com.
I'm gonna say it's a park domain.
I'm gonna go new age psychology, like something to do with feeling better and making your brain heal.
Right, John?
I'm gonna say it's a website to help train your child how to ride a bicycle.
Oh, Emma.
I think it's a website for candy.
And underwear.
Twowheels.com, huh?
Candy and underwear.
Well, guess what?
Park domain. You win.
Parked domain.
Yes.
It is available
Okay.
by this domain. I can't believe no one's using Two Wheels.
.com.
.com.
They probably want so much money for it that it's unrealistic.
$10,000 or something crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one. You guys ready for this? This is a common nickname for the XR650R. BigRedPig.com. BigRedPig.com.
Oh, barbecue. Going barbecue.
Ooh.
Yeah, you see, when you told me this, what people don't realize that in the 1970s, Mercedes had this fucking endurance racer, which was this giant sedan. Bagel probably knows this. And it was a giant red sedan with a big V8 engine in it. They called it the Big Red Pig.
Wow.
Amazing looking thing. It's not that.
Yeah.
But I think Morgan is right. It is food related.
Right. John, did you guess?
I'm going to say it's, I don't know.
Good
It's,
guess.
If
It's
you can get
underwear.
anywhere close.
Underwear.
Okay, underwear. That's not a bad.
You know what?
Solve
I could see that as a lingerie company. Like,
All right.
if you like sensual,
All right,
I'm-
Bagel.
come to
I'm
Big
gonna-
Red Pig.
I'm going to go lower, and I'm going to say this is a porn site.
Ooh, Big Red Pig. It is, in fact. I don't know.
A park.
It's a monkey on a red pig, and
It's
it's a
Okay.
and there's nothing.
Oh.
There's no information to this
It's a-
other than bigredpig.com 2020, and this is how you can
Well,
contact them.
That's a political slogan right there. BigRedPig.com 2020.
And what is? I don't know why there's a monkey on a pig.
I
Well,
bet
my
you they're
suggestion
this is for a furries, I bet.
I don't know. Isn't it weird?
I don't know.
The
Fill out-
Maybe it is a
your
porn
name
site.
and address. Fill out your name and address and see what comes back.
Oh no!
Yeah, go
don't
ahead,
do
Liza.
Oh yeah.
that. Don't do
All
that.
right, all right,
Fill it out.
Um,
Don't stick
We'll
your
fill it
info
out
where you
like
don't
she's a-
know where it's going.
all right. So, other than Bagel getting the park domain one, you guys have not gotten anywhere close to any of these. All right, I got one. Maybe this is easier. I'm not sure. What do you call the passenger on the back? Common term.
Pillion.
What?
Cupcake.
The bitch, right? So this is bitch.com.
Oh, this could be
Oh.
anything.
Bitch.com.
This is a dominatrix site, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's too big of a word to have anything useful. Like,
Come on, gotta guess.
I am gonna guess park domain.
All right, Bagel.
I'm with John. It's probably a dominatrix website.
That was more. Oh, domination. You're going to dominatrix. Okay, Emma.
Clothing.
Clothing. Good guess.
Oh, that is a good guess.
All right, so bitch.com is a guy who's pissed off about a cruise he went on that he did not get a refund for.
Wow.
Yeah, I could see this guy registering it super early and hang on to that domain for dear life. Like,
That's
Wow.
it. Bitch.com, a
Early-
Crystal Cruises story.
yeah, early adopter, a dear friend Gary Gattell bought rifle.com years ago, and that's where he sells rifle fairings under.
Mhm.
And so many, gun companies have tried to approach him for that domain. He's like, nope, it's mine.
Isn't that interesting? Okay, here's
Wow.
all right. Ready for another one?
Okay.
Yes.
Trackday.com. Track day.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be planning like calendar and sunlight tracking and things like that. It's gonna measure the ambient hours of sunlight in your life and make you feel good, new agey.
Okay, in 2 words we'll do that. But okay. Bagel, what do you think?
I think that this is a news website devoted to track and field news.
Ooh, trackday.com. John, what do you think?
So I'm going to go to the obvious and say it's a website for track days for cars, not for
Ooh,
motorcycles.
okay. And Emma.
I think it's a website where you can buy sports apparel and running
Underwear.
shoes and stuff for running
Underwear.
on the track.
I bet you
Okay.
it's
All good guesses. Well, guess what? It's a website where you can find a track day for motorcycles.
Wow.
Hey,
I
wow.
was close,
Track days
close.
riding schools. Trackday.com. I did not know this. I thought that was really helpful. Trackday.com. Find a motorcycle track day near you.
Does it work? Did you test
I
it?
didn't, but it looks good.
It says 2021 dates coming soon. Since it's August already, I don't know if they're quite up to date.
Well,
But it's a nice idea. We'll put it that way.
yeah. This one, wait, I can do that one. Okay, I got a good one. Don't look at the screen.
My eyes are closed.
Don't look at the screen.
My eyes are
Okay.
closed.
This one is okay. This one is brap.com. B-R-A-P. Brap.com.
Oh, I know what this is.
Don't we
Yeah.
usually have more A's or P's when we
This
talk
is
about it?
B-R-A-P.com. Brap.
It just came to me.
Mhm.
British rap.
Ooh.
This-
Okay. Emma?
Anti-flatulence medication.
Okay. And Bagel?
The Brazilian airmail service.
Oh, and John.
Oh, I think it's underwear.
How's underwear the default?
Brap.
Okay, brap.com, B-R-A-P, is actually redirects to Life Alert. So I'm going to give this one to Emma as flagellance medication.
Yes, thank you.
Because I said if you get anywhere close, I'll give you a point.
I think underwear is closer.
Help, I've fallen and I can't get up.
Why does brap.com take you to Life Alert? Help,
Yeah.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
And you know the
I've
thing
been
that
brapping my phone.
upset me most about those adverts is all the women on it look younger than me.
Oh,
All
Was
the
there
women who are lying
That is not true.
Okay.
because they've fallen over and can't get up for the last day.
All right, you guys ready for another one? Don't look, Morgan.
I'm not. I'm
Okay.
staring at the ground.
Okay. All right, this one
You
is
rate me all day.
brap.com, B-R-A-A-P.com.
mm-hmm.
Brap.com.
It's Brazilian AAA. For roadside assistance in Brazil.
All right, John.
BR.
Brap.
All right, I'm just gonna go. It's dirt bike training.
Okay, Bagel.
I think it's a dirt bike online forum.
Okay, and Emma.
I think it's something to do with soccer.
Ooh,
Wow.
interesting. Well, I thought that this was interesting as well, that brap.com is a snowmobile group of films, merchandise, and apparel that you can buy. Snow machines. Brap. I know, right? I'm like,
Well, they
what?
make the noise. No, they make the noise.
Yeah, I never associate brap, with snowmobiles. That's all.
Well,
That's because you
perhaps
don't
if
ride
we
'em.
lived somewhere where there was fucking snow, we would.
Right?
Well, okay. Ready for another?
Yes.
Yep.
So I think right now we got Emma has 1 point, Bagel has 1 point, right?
Yeah.
Because we're the smart ones.
Okay.
Yeah, most of your guess has been underwear.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
All right.
A clock's right. A stopped clock is right twice a day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Unless it's a 24-hour clock.
And it's
Right.
once
Twostroke.com.
Oh,
And that is spelled T-W-O, twostroke.com.
This is for men
It's
with
for
premature
premature
ejaculation.
Yeah. Oh.
oh my.
All right, Emma, what do you think?
Well, no, I said exactly the same as John. I think
Okay.
it's for people who prematurely.
What's that?
So it's basically for Brat app.
I might need that website. You better send that to me.
Okay, Bagel.
For a friend.
I'm going to go again with porn site.
Okay. Twostroke.com.
I'm going Park Domain.
Okay. Well, let's
Bet.
find out what it is. It's available for sale.
Woo!
Hey, there you go.
How is nobody using twostroke.com?
For porn.
or any, apparently there's a lot of things it
This
can
stuff,
work for.
this stuff is so good, you won't last. Yeah, oh.
Well, okay. You guys, I need you to try and do better. Like I said, I'm giving you a wide
Wait,
landing field here.
I got that one right for Park
Right.
Domain for
Yeah.
You got that one.
yeah,
All right. So,
yeah.
John, you're the only one without a point.
Yeah.
Come on. All right. A very common Honda motorcycle would be the Nighthawk. So I went to nighthawk.com.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a site for
Vigilantes, Marvel comic readers or something.
my nerd's coming out. It's for
Well, that's Nightwing. You don't don't
Oh, he's
confuse them.
Nightwing. I was wrong. So
Yeah.
Nighthawk.com.
Not that I would know anything about nerdy stuff. I ride motorcycles.
I'm thinking it's a website for people who like to do birding at nighttime.
I'm going spiritual healing.
Ooh. All right. Bagel.
A website devoted to military aviation technology.
Wow.
Mm,
Nice.
good. Emma?
It's a support group for incurable bedwetters.
Oh, you broke me.
From one Nighthawk to another. It's
Oh
good
my
to
God.
meet you.
And you can get discounts on rubbish.
Excuse me. Nighthawk.com. The bridge to Aboriginal employment and training.
So close.
What?
It's a wholly owned Indigenous company based in Ottawa, Ontario. They offer a diverse group of products and services to both the public and the private sector.
Very cool.
Awarded healthcare, medical device, and equipment license. I don't know. That's not spiritual healing. I was so close.
I'm trying to give you guys like
I don't know.
as much room as don't look.
Range.
I saw that. Unfortunately, you were.
Yeah, you
I'm
can't.
I'm out of this one.
Okay. Well, this one, I tried to make it easy for you guys. I did. This one is Harley.com.
Oh, that's got to be something to do with Marvel, Harley Quinn.
Oh, good guess.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
where
that
I'm going.
I think that redirects to Harley Davidson.
Oh, okay. Harley.com.
Yeah.
John?
I think it absolutely has something to do with the motorcycles, and it may be a parts website.
Mm.
Well, you guys would not have guessed this one.
Harley.com is, in fact, a website for a man named Harley Hahn and his big cat.
Wow.
What does it say about the cat?
I'm not sure. Welcome to a comfortable place for people with long attention spans to think, learn, and have fun.
Near the bottom, there's one of the clickable things that says young girls and phones. Don't click on that.
Yeah, we won't click on that. He's a author and a creator of books and essays, and
Young girls and phones.
we're not going to look at that, but he has a very pretty cat. So Harley.com is for a man and his cat.
Eyes closed.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
No.
All right, come on. I want to end on a good one. Oh, okay. Maybe Bagel will know this one. Scooter.com.
Ooh.
Oh, Bagel, have you ever gone to scooter.com?
I don't know.
He only goes to scootertrash.com. No.
I'm going to say that's a park domain.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything though. It could be new age health. It could be underwear.
Excuse me. John, you look like we've broken you each time.
I'm going to go hotel reservations.
Oh, okay.
Register with scooter.com.
All right, John.
I think it's for children who are moving into being toddlers, but not quite there yet.
And Emma?
I think it's something to do with Scooter Libby. That guy.
Scooter Libby. All
Oh my God.
Do you remember? Yes.
Dug that reference out of the graveyard.
right, scooter.com is where they sell mobility scooters.
You know what? I feel that should have.
I think I was
Power
close.
wheelchairs, manual wheelchairs, lift chairs,
Should've seen
and
that
other
coming.
mobility products.
Oh, I think
That
John
makes
should
sense.
get that.
I was close there.
What did you say, John?
Well, about children, being toddlers, but it's somebody who.
No,
It's the exact opposite
that
side
is
of life.
not it
No,
at
it's
all.
somebody who's not mobile. It's
No,
Please.
babies
no,
aren't they're mobility challenged.
no. I'm not giving you that one. Okay, let's
When you leave, I'm
I'm going for ice cream. I'll be back in a moment.
wait. Where are you going? No,
For
come
ice
back.
cream.
We got two more, Emma. Should you really just leave?
She's
Yep,
going
she's
for
on.
ice cream.
Oh Jesus, she's so done with this. Okay. All right. We have two more left.
Should we all hide right before she comes back?
This one is AmericanIron.com.
I mean, Buzz doesn't have
was a
that.
magazine.
Yeah, it's Buzz Canner's magazine. He was just here.
Yeah.
Came and visited Dad.
AmericanIron.com.
He also
Is that
has-
what you're going with?
No.
Yep.
He has Tandem Communications. You would think so. I'm gonna go Park Domain.
No, I'm going to tell you there are no park domains.
Oh,
So this is a real website.
all right. I'm gonna go horseshoeing.
All right.
I'm going to go with weightlifting.
Weightlifting. And John?
Oh, I said it. It was it's that old magazine. It's a leftover domain. They probably got stuff marked there.
One would think, but in fact, it's a scrap metal site.
Well, literal American iron.
It is literally American iron.
Yeah, but they also get steel and aluminum. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe they have American steel and American aluminum too.
All right. We have one left. Emma. Hello. All right, Emma. Emma.
Hold on.
Jeez, oh, Pete. All right, Emma, we have one left. You
No,
with
I've
us
got
on
my
this?
ice cream. Yeah.
And John, you are exempt from this one.
Why? All right.
All right, everybody. BigThumpers.com.
Oh, that's porn.
BigThumpers.com.
That's very specific porn where they just huge tracts of land.
All right, we got porn. Bagel, what are you thinking? BigThumpers.com.
It is a website that is dedicated to Clydesdale horses.
Ooh, okay. Emma? BigThumpers.com.
I think it is animal related. I'm going to go for like fucking rabbits or something.
You say fucking rabbits or rabbits?
Just rabbits.
John, do you want to tell them what BigThumpers.com is?
It is a website for people who love big thumper motorcycles.
And who owns this domain?
I own that domain.
There it is.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice.
The adventure begins now.
And it's for sale for $1 million.
$1 million.
Isn't that where Naked Jim posed in front of those rocks and he's like on his bike naked?
I
thought-
don't know. All right, so what do you guys think of that? The domain name game challenge.
Big
That
thumbs
was
up.
interesting.
Isn't that interesting? How things that there's such common terms that we know of in the motorcycle community and how they can be something completely different. Not to mention how many are actually available.
Well, Domain's he has some fun there because they made some snafus they didn't really think about in over time. Some famous ones was the Italian energy and power generator. It was powergen.italia. So power genitalia.
Oh.
That's how it read. There was also therapistfinder.com, but it also reads as the rapist finder.
Oh, God.
And of course, the most famous was penisland.com, where you could buy pens. Penis land.
Yeah. I remember one. There's a suburb of North Sacramento called Forney, Forni, and there was a catering company. The Forney caterers.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, I think it's time to talk about our next topic and the reason why Morgan is here.
That's the only reason I'm here. You don't like me?
No.
No. Okay. Well.
Well, you're actually here because your bike isn't charging fast enough. You couldn't get home. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I offered to talk about electric stuff because I wanted to give several updates on stuff on just what the industry is doing. It's been a while. It's been a spell.
It's been a while. And throughout the years on this podcast, we've talked with Energica, with Alta, with Zero, with Monday Motorbikes. We've and Lightning. We've tried to kind of keep our finger on the pulse as electric bikes were coming up. And there's been, I mean, in some cases you could say there's been a lot of updates and new things, but in another way, I'd say not a lot has changed in the last 5 years. If you recall, our first guest was Kenyon from Zero, like 10 years ago, almost.
Yep.
Wow.
We've been recording this long. It wasn't. And he said, about every 5 years, the technology has advanced so much that anything that's 5 years old is pretty much obsolete because that's how fast it's changing. Would you say it's still the same, Morgan, that in the last 5 years?
I wasn't in it 5 years ago.
Oh, but still, would you own a 5-year-old, Zero?
It would be showing it's actually I do own one. Funny, I'm trying to revive it. It was given to us by some friends. I'm trying
You
to
have a mission, right?
No, I have Energica, a Zero, and a Bramo.
A Bramo. How old is that?
Bramo's 2014. I successfully revived that with the help of one of the guys who came down for not refuel, Arma, Formula Lightning. His name is Dick Ilwin, and he's a dear friend of Arthur Kowitz, who founded Formula Lightning, the electric racing division in Arma. And Dick, up until recently, had been racing Bramos and picked himself up a new Zero to do racing on that. He's very happy with it, but the one I had died, and he came out and very graciously spent his time poking and prodding around and found the bad fuse. That was it. But I've got some other stuff I've got to do with it. There's the cells aren't balancing like they're supposed to, so it's it could be better healthy battery wise, and I've got myself a little power a DC power supply that I'm just going to alligator clip and manually charge the thing so the cells are more in balance. But that's nerd stuff.
So we've had new players to the game, and now a lot of these manufacturers, I mean, Energica, Zero, they've been making bikes for a while now.
Yeah, their first one was 2014, and they started in the US in 2017.
So what is the latest? What is the newest? What is the greatest?
So there's been product updates on all the lines. I thought I'd start with Zero because they're our closest neighbors, and they have been in the game the longest. And they have the widest variety of bikes, diversified, different types, everything from supermoto to a kind of light motocross to a street bike, a kind of dual sport thing. And then their flagship ones are kind of the Naked Street Fighter and the kind of sport touring look. It's the same bike, just with and without fairings. And and then most recent thing is they did a facelift on their Supermoto, which is my favorite of their bikes. It's the was called the FXS, and it's the same thing as their dirt bike, just with street wheels and different suspension. Like a year or so ago, one of those concept design companies did some artistic drawings of like, what if we made it look really cool? And so that got the attention of Zero, and they worked with Brian Wisman, who's the head of the I think I might get his position wrong, but he's like the VP of design over there, and he came from Bramo. He designed the SRF and the all that stuff. He made it a little more, he tweaked it a little bit, and they basically just released that as the FXE. It's the same thing as the FXS, but the body is like updated. It has like this cool white and red art style to it. They give it a color screen.
So style, just style,
purely style change and a color screen. That's their newest and latest thing. I saw a ton of them at IMS a couple weeks ago. I was in Sonoma, which was actually a really cool event because live wires are there. Energica had a booth there, and Zero had a booth, and there were 15 like demo live wires and probably 30 or 40 Zeros. And it was interesting because there were demo rides from Harley and Yamaha and Suzuki and all, but like a huge amount of demo rides of live wires and Zeros. So half of the demo rides, I would say, were electric. Like, as I'm watching as the day goes past, just big swaths of electric bikes are going past, and it normalized it for a lot of people. I thought it was really cool to be able to see so many electric bikes, and people going looking around and going, what is that? They want to know more.
And that is hard because with the gas bikes, you can just refuel it. Emma, you recall when we were at AMA Vintage Days with Phil from Cleveland Moto doing Zero test rides, and you didn't have enough time to recharge a bike. It was quite the game trying to leapfrog and get bikes charged to have enough bikes. And there was a lot of interest, but yeah, that was hard.
So a couple things have changed. The Zero's SRF and SRS have naturally a whole lot more powerful charging on them than the FX line. They will charge fully in 2 hours. And so what Zero did is they had behind their next to their trailer, they had another massive generator just powering a big bank of level 2 charging stations that they would just rotate bikes in and out of there and cycle them. And because the batteries have gotten more dense, and I don't think the demo route was particularly long, I think they could pretty much rotate bikes in and out all day and not worry about them being depleted.
Well, I want to ask you, what would you say right now is the best bike on the market that has all the things that for the price, for the range, for the charging time, for the function, and for the styling, what do you think is the best bike out there?
The one I want, it would fit my needs the most, is probably there's two that are close-ish, but I would say the one for me is Energica's Eva Rebella RS. The RS is overkill. I don't need that extra power, but I want it. So that and I'll go into the changes that Energica has done. The next runner-up for me would probably be Zero's SRS with there's a special modification. You can get extra charging AC power on it, but that generally only benefits Europe because of the way our grid is built. However, creative Florida man Scott Harkless has made a mod that uses all of Zero's hardware to give you the option to plug into two stations at the same time and draw the full power to reduce it to a 1 hour charge.
Oh,
Wow.
Extremely useful mod. Doesn't void the warranty of the bike because it uses all of Zero's hardware just with some clever relays and brackets and stuff that he built. So that would be attractive because the SRS has at least an attempt at streamlining.
Would that also be the SRF? Would that be the same?
It would. The mod would function on that,
Okay.
but the SRF is completely naked. And if I want to ride longer distances, I want that arrow.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Now let's talk about the live wire. And I mean, I think we can all agree none of us would have expected Harley to have made a great electric motorcycle. What do you think, Morgan? Now you've had a chance to ride one, and they've been around now.
What I will say about the Livewire is the major change that happened, because there was a major change. Originally, up until very recently, the Harley Davidson Livewire was a $30,000 electric motorcycle. It was well built. We had it here at the when Diego got up here and showed his off, but it's very hard to justify that price point. For whatever reason, and I have theories, I don't know if I'm allowed to go into them publicly here on why they did this, but Harley kind of pulled a Buell, and they split the Livewire off into its own entity.
They should have done that with Buell.
Well, yeah.
Sooner. I mean, yeah.
It is now the company is Livewire, and the bike is the Livewire 1. It no longer has Harley branding on it. They changed cosmetically a little bit of the plastics and the color schemes you can get at. They also reduced the price by $7,500.
Oh,
so as opposed to
nice.
$30,000, it is now $22,600, I think. And then they say with incentives, it's under 20, which is all true. But they also dramatically there's now only 3 dealers. And they plan to grow more, but this is not a Harley anymore. There's now only 3 Livewire dealers in the country.
Wow.
That will probably change, but it was just a real dramatic
But there are
thing.
Harley dealers who are selling live wires too.
Yeah, they have leftover stock, but they're no longer being sold under the Harley brand. New ones are only being made under the Livewire.
But
brand.
Harley dealerships can still be a live wire dealer too.
Probably, but I think there's right now. I think there's only 3.
Okay. Well, I know here our own San Jose Harley Davidson, they have live wires.
Do they have the new Livewire 1 that's the white and black?
I don't know, but I assume that if they still choose to sell, they could. But would you agree? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, do you know if Harley's going to be producing aftermarket parts for that, or what do they just have a bunch of new old stock now that they're going to use, or how are they going to support?
It's a great question, because I know there's mixed feeling from dealers, because the dealers had to have a big buy-in package to be able to support the Livewire. It came with everything, including the boat hook, which is a long rod with a curve at the end of it. So if the technician's getting electrocuted, you could pull them off and not die. But then they had to put in a DC station and have all the training and all the parts there. So I don't know. I would love to hear from a Harley dealer. I'd love to hear from the Livermore dealership that I've been to.
This is not unprecedented in the motorcycle industry at all. Yamaha, and they, funnily enough, have gone back to integrating it in the brand.
You're breaking up, Emma.
Your connection's poor, Emma. Sorry.
There you go. How about that?
Okay.
15 years ago, Yamaha said, none of our cruisers are going to be marketed as Yamahas anymore. They're going to be part of its own entity called the Star brand.
Yeah.
And they've gone back to Yamaha, but you could walk into a Yamaha dealer and you'd have all the Yamahas there, and then all the Star bikes there, all under the same roof, all supported by the same manufacturer, but a different line. The Star bikes didn't have a Yamaha anywhere on them, and I think that's where Harley are going to go with the Livewire, because the Livewire is just one model, and there is potential for a lot more. You know, there's potential for the electric bike, there's the potential for the sports bike, there's potential for the cafe racer. So if you regard Livewire as the beginning of it and then the model within, Toyota have done the same with the Prius. The Prius is its own thing now.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm actually a little confused, and I haven't really bothered to look on why exactly this is happening, but it was my understanding that Harley was going to be building a whole series of electric bicycles. And they were going to market them under the Livewire brand. They've done this, but it's known as the Serial One. Like, it's not the Livewire, it's the Serial One e-bike. So I'm confused if they split off another entity or what, because I thought they were going to put all these electric vehicle, all these things under one roof of Livewire, but it's not been done.
It's a very American thing, Morgan, and what it is at some stage in corporate, somebody has said, that is your target audience, and by using this name, we will alienate them, so you will come up with a new name.
There was a discussion, and someone else posited a theory that because Harley is a publicly traded company, they didn't like that they had to publicly reveal the sales stats of the Livewire, which may not have been what they wanted. But if they move it to a private entity, then they don't have to release that info.
Oh, no, I think they just still do. No, I think they're going for very, very targeted audiences. We've already seen that people who are buying electric motorcycles now are very, very different than just mainstream motorcycle people. So you're into a very, very different demographic of people who have got a very different ideal motorcycle, a very different level of education.
It's the early adapters, or as I like to call the wackadoos.
No, that's not entirely fair, Liza. But
it's early adapters is what you call people who get into the tech early to support it, and knowing that they are the guinea pigs to build it. People like to be a part of that.
But if we go back to Star, at some stage, Yamaha said to themselves, "We are losing sales of our cruiser bikes because they've got Yamaha written on them. And if we take all that away and call them by their own thing, so people don't feel ashamed to be riding a Yamaha, we're going to sell more bikes." Did it work to a certain extent? It was always a Yamaha Star to people who knew, even though it didn't say it. Kawasaki did the same with the Vulcan. Honda kind of tried to do the same thing with the Shadow, but never quite pulled it off. But what I'm saying, Morgan, is not unprecedented in the motorcycle or indeed the car industry. Lexuses are basically Toyotas with a bit of faux wood grain trim inside. Infinities are basically Nissans.
Yeah, and Acura.
Well, if you guys
different market.
If you guys think that Livewire is expensive at $30,000.
No. It was 22.6.
But it's still, hey, no, even when it came out, $30,000, you can get top of the line.
It's hard to justify.
Zero for $20,000. How do you justify it? Well, my question is, how do you justify this? The Vector. Have you heard of the Arc Vector?
Yes, I have heard of it.
They start at $118,000.
Oh, by two.
I don't know if they're already on the road, but
I'm trying to. Here's a picture of it.
Reserve my Vector. Yeah. I don't think there are any on the road, and I think this is still purely in the concept stage.
Well, I'm saying there's somebody who is prepared to sell.
There's a whole bunch of ridiculous of over 100K. Like if you look at the Saralea, I think There's
or the Curtis.
or the leader Sora, or
I
whatever
mean,
it is.
but it's interesting that there's
There's several
people
electric,
who think that that's a niche market to be filled. The very high priced
Yeah.
electric motorcycles.
Yeah, those are the the Goldilocks pricing. This is the the ridiculous tier one that they want to make a limited run of and sell it as an art piece essentially.
Do we know if Eric Buell's new venture is going to be high end like this, or is it more sort of consumer?
If you're talking about the fuel, that's marketed as a commuter bike.
Yeah.
It's got a hub motor, and I really haven't heard anything about any change in about a year and a half. I don't have any new information on it, and I'm curious to see. I'm not a fan of hub motors, but I like Eric, and I believe in Eric. Yeah.
Well, personally, I think anyone, any business, may be struggling right now. So let's bring up
those websites. Make me mad, Liza.
Let's bring up the fuel flow that you just said. Here it is. And this bike, designed by Eric Buell, as you said. Do you guys want to take a guess at how much this bike is retailing for?
Keep in mind, there aren't any on the road yet.
Oh, I think I saw this. Isn't it like 20 or something? It's not expensive.
They're claiming that they start at $11,000.
Yeah.
It's meant to be a commuter and affordable. I think it was supposed to be like between 11 and 16 is what my vague memory is telling me.
Yeah, I thought when I saw the 20, I think that was just everything top line spec. But so define commuter. I mean, how fast does it go?
Here, what I remember, it was very
85 miles an hour.
What I remember about it was bizarre because it had a ridiculously fast 0 to 60, and then they capped it at like 75 or something.
Well, it says 85 miles for his top.
Maybe it's changed, but again, this is not necessarily. That's not Fuel's website, so I don't know if these people are capable of reading a manufacturer's specs. Anyway, I'm not a fan of these websites that have lists of here's the best electric things on the thing.
Yeah, we'll deal with it because that's what I'm using.
They're so often wrong.
I have a question for everyone.
Super soakers.
Because like I said, we've been tracking these, and there's a lot of players in the field. We know that Vespa and KTM, and we know that there's other brands, BMW, that are all looking in the market, want to get into the market, but who's pulled the plug yet? I know there's talks of Kawasaki and others. But my question is, there are more and more of these cheap, I'm calling them cheap Chinese brands. And my question is, are they relevant? Do they count? For instance, what I have on the screen here is the Super Soco TC. And this has a retail price that starts at $5,250.
Wow.
These things are insanely popular in Europe.
With a top speed of just under 60 miles per hour.
Yep. It's a hub motor. It's low power, but that's what it's meant to be. And in Europe, they have very different licensing laws than we do here. Anything under 11 kilowatts in terms of power is like you don't necessarily need a motorcycle license. So this is something that you don't have to have special training or licenses to be able to own and operate. It's very accessible for a lot of people, and it's low maintenance. It's great. It's the perfect commuting machine for them if they live in a city and don't need to go fast. Yeah, they're extremely popular.
But are they relevant in the U.S. market? Here's another one, the Horwin
Polish
CR6.
Well, it's a Chinese bike developed, being distributed by a Polish company.
And this one boasts a top speed of 57 miles per hour.
See, that one's interesting because it has. I'm sorry.
Starts at $7,600.
It's interesting because that is one of the rare electric motors with a 3-speed transmission.
Oh yeah.
It's a liquid cooled motor. It's tiny. I've seen these things up close in person. I know who makes this for them. And I'm not a fan of the transmission, or maybe it's 6-speed. I don't remember, but it's got a unique proprietary transmission and liquid cooling on the motor. But again, very popular in Europe.
Well, my question, I mean, and to the Misfits here, is it relevant? Is a under $10,000 electric bike that cannot hit 60 miles an hour. Is it relevant?
This thing bugs me because they listed as most silent electric motorcycle.
Forget that.
It's not.
Forget that, Morgan.
Yeah.
Forget that. But is it relevant? I'm asking you guys, what do you think?
I think the problem with America, it is so diverse and so large. You can't just say, is it relevant? If you were to take, so let's take this four-win CR6 that we're looking at right now.
Mm-hmm.
For an urban environment, so let's pick any city, San Francisco,
Yep.
Seattle, Houston. Yes, it's probably relevant in certain circumstances. For a long distance commute, perhaps in the Midwest or in California on the freeways where you need a freeway to get anywhere, probably not so. Europe is laid out very, very differently to America. And in terms of geography, of course, it is a lot smaller. I could see riding that around any town in England. I could see it riding it all over Holland, all over Germany. France maybe not so much because it's larger, and Spain definitely not. So yes, it's
In
relevant
Asia.
in a certain spot. And truthfully, that applies to all motorcycles. You know, what we have there is a motorcycle with the performance of a 125.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 125 sell pretty well in America, but with very, very specific goals in mind. If you buy a 125, you're not going to be riding it over Highway 17 every day to a job in San Jose.
No, that's a thing for back roads and
Right,
large city
exactly.
environments.
Yeah.
Well-
I agree. It's much
So, and what I find is interesting here is what I'm trying to point out is, especially as we are following the progress of the electric, motorcycle industry, we have to remind ourselves that here in the U.S., our needs are different than in Europe and in Asia, and that we are more specific to our needs. And that may be why we're so much more reluctant, because you need to have higher distance, and faster speeds and faster charging times here to get into the market.
Well,
Okay, I'll deviate afterwards because I have a cool segment to go into.
But I'm trying to point out that perspective. We have to.
I think what we find ourselves in America right now, and I'm talking about right now, August 29th, 2021, the infrastructure is not keeping up as much as we would like it to. In Europe, they've kind of bought a lot more wholesale into it. And I think Morgan's predicament this evening is a reflection of that. And yes, it's a unique set of circumstances, but it's by no means unprecedented. We need more charging stations. We need more quality charging stations so that when demand is high at the weekend or when people are traveling, there are sufficient charging stations for the vehicles that are out there. And I think that this little snapshot in time, we are a little bit lacking.
Yeah. Well, and I wanted to check in because what I have up on the screen now is a scooter. And it seems like the scooters are, what we're talking about. For here, scooters aren't as popular because they don't have the distance and the speed that we really think that we need. Bagel proves otherwise, but that we think that we need. So you would think there would be a ton more scooters. What I have up here is a Gogoro Smart Scooter 2. Have you heard of these, Morgan?
I have not.
And this one has a top speed of 28 miles per hour. And it sells for about $2,500.
But you
So-
see,
It's nice if you want to go 28 miles an hour.
Well, but Bagel, there's a lot of
Yeah.
scooters
Yeah.
out there that will never
that's
exceed that
got the
speed.
C3 kind of power.
Right.
Right.
So what we have to do, well, let's look at this whole scooter thing
Mm-hmm.
as a whole. What are the advantages of electric propulsion? It's very clean. It's very smooth. It's
Quiet.
very quiet. It's very linear. All these traits lend themselves perfectly to a scooter. Perfectly. Because if you think about it, scooters are designed to be that way. Scooters tend to be very quiet, very smooth, just a nice environment to be. So they have just this broad appeal. I think that thing's absolutely brilliant. I love it. I love everything about it. I think the design's amazing. I love the color. It's modern. It's high tech. I think that's fucking brilliant.
I agree. I think that's a beautiful bike, but I would really like to have double the performance of what it offers.
You do, but Bagel.
But I mean, as a minimum, let me say, and honestly, to really be practical, you really need more than that, because first of all, who buys 50cc bikes? I mean, that's pretty limited to very, very young riders and like college students who need something very cheap to get around with. And for that, sure, this might be good. But for your average rider, I just don't think that's going to be enough. I really would like to see more models, like that have a lot more power and range, because that's going to make it a much more useful bike.
Actually, you're forgetting something really important here.
Yeah.
And this would be the reason why I'm seeing so many of these like Super 73 version of like e-bike things. You know what I'm talking about? They're everywhere. They're huge right now.
Well, I'm not sure what you're referring to.
E-bicycles.
Okay.
You've not seen the Super 73?
I don't know what that is.
It's an e-bicycle with big fat tires and kind of like classic
Like
classic bicycle
cruiser
cruisers.
bike?
Yeah.
No. It looks like.
No, don't go to JP site. Go to super73.com. Okay.
Hold on. There, I found one. Okay. It looks like this. Right?
Okay,
It's motorcycle-ish, right?
It's got pedals and it's got a
Okay.
little battery pack.
So why are these so big right now?
well,
Because you do not need a license
right.
to ride it. And they have
Right.
about the same speed as that scooter.
Yep, I've ridden them. They're fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge market for things you don't need a license for.
I
but
know this
scooter-
company. They can't keep up with demand. These things are
These things
flying.
are flying right
Right.
now.
But the scooter is going to be registered probably as a moped in California because of the limited power.
Right.
And you're still going to need a license for it. This, you're not. This is an e-bike because it's got pedals. And it's
Yeah.
a totally different beast.
Well, no, I
And
mean,
it's
all right.
cheaper, and you don't need to insure it.
Yeah.
It's a completely different market.
I want one. They're really cool.
They
looking.
are
Get
great.
one. Get one.
I'll put in a good word for you.
But I want to go back to Bagel. I
Yeah.
want to ask you. So, tell us about electric scooters. What is available? What's out there? Because I remember,
Okay.
didn't Vespa and BMW had announced them? Like
Yes.
these are big names.
Yeah. They did.
So, what's going on with electric scooters? Why aren't they more popular?
Well, that's a really good question.
Talk
but
to your people.
They're. I've been trying, man. I've been trying.
Wait a minute.
And
Hold on. Bagel.
So,
why don't you have an electric scooter yet?
Well, I've been trying to work on that, but give me some time.
Okay.
But there are a number of electric scooters out there that I think are actually worthy of consideration. Now, you mentioned several of them so far. One is the BMW. They came out with their BMW C Evolution,
Mhm.
which was basically the electric version of the BMW C650 scooter, which is sort of a maxi scooter. And their electric version has good power, good speed, good range, but it came with a pretty hefty price. for a scooter. The C Evolution comes with a 35 kilowatt motor, has a 74 mile an hour top speed, a range of about 100 miles.
It's a nice big scooter. I've seen it in person. It's nice.
Yeah, it's really well made. It's the kind of quality you'd expect from BMW, but it is a maxi scooter, so it is a big scooter, and it also sits pretty high. And I just I just couldn't. It wasn't something that really clicked for me. But for people who I've heard have ridden them, they really like them. I'm sure they're very good, top of the line quality bikes. However, from what it looks like, that bike is ending production or has probably already ended production.
It just, as I recall, updated the product line. There was something that replaced it.
Right. BMW has just announced they're coming out with a new electric scooter for 2022 called the CE04. Now, I did not have time to find any sort of stats for this bike, although the BMW website does say that they're offering it starting at $11,795.
Oh. That's in the range, would you say, or no?
I mean, it's similar to what the BMW C Evolution was, except this bike seems like it's a whole lot longer. Well, maybe not longer, but it's a whole lot lower, which I really like. Yeah. The center of gravity seems like they've done a lot of work to move that much farther down, which makes it much more appealing to me. Now, they completely redesigned the looks of the bike. This thing looks like it's something out of Akira, I have to say.
Yeah, it was a bit of a head turn. It's still a scooter, which didn't pique my interest that much, but I forgot about that. Yeah, sorry.
And I really don't know if this is something I'd want to go for. I never imagined myself as being a BMW owner, but I definitely would like to test ride this when it comes out. So I'm going to keep my eye on that one, which again is the BMW CE04.
You got a picture.
That is on the screen. Weird looking.
Right.
Looks like something from Back to the Future.
Yeah,
like that they would have made of what something would look like in the future, right?
Looks like a Tron thing.
No, I like it. It looks like
I like it
quite angular.
It's I like the side with the rear wheel where you can see all the rear wheel. That's good looking. Look at that.
Oh, it's a single swing arm. That's okay.
Single-sided swing arm, and it has a storage compartment in the middle of it too, where you can fit a helmet inside of.
Can we talk a little bit about because we're getting very excited about it. Can we talk a little bit about the Vespa? Because
that was my next one.
5 years ago, 5 years.
Yes. Well, let's do that.
5 years ago, Vespa had a production-ready electric scooter which looked good, which was priced right, which was all the things. Well, and I've yet to see one.
Well, the original electric that Vespa came out with, the original Vespa Electrica, it was not cheap. It was close to $10,000, and the original model only went 28 miles an hour. So it was kind of a flop, I have to say. However, Vespa has re-engineered the Electrica. They have the original version still, I believe, but they also have a more powerful version out now, which has a 4 kilowatt motor with a 45 mile an hour top speed.
It's not I think I found a picture of it. Is this it?
No. That is a mobility scooter that you probably found on scooter.com. No, but also at the same time, Vespa has lowered the price as well, where the starting price for the Vespa Electrica is now $75.99. I think that is actually for the higher power version. So so that does make it quite a bit more appealing, and I didn't realize that they had lowered the price, so that makes it quite a bit more appealing to me. And there you have it on the screen, Liza.
That looks like a clean Vespa. I mean, all the styling.
It's basically the same model
It's unchanged from the one I saw in 2016 when I was down at Vespa in.
Right. It's essentially this is a Vespa Primavera platform that's outfitted with an electric motor and battery. And it's a very nice quality bike. Looks the part. And
so they're saying $7,500. Okay.
So this is
$7,599.
a purely ignorant question because I'm so ignorant in the ways of scooters. Is there rear suspension or is it just hard mounted rear wheel on scooters?
No. It has a single shock in the rear.
Okay.
It's
arm. Yeah. Where if we go back to the scooter, I'll show you how they work. Liza, can you pick up that picture of the scooter?
Hold on.
Profile. And all scooters kind of work the same way. There's a pivot. Do you see that little lump on the floorboard at the back? There's a little kind of lump that looks like a tiny little loaf of bread where your passenger's feet go. Yeah. There's a pivot just behind that. And so the entire propulsion system pivots around that, and then there's a shock that's upright on the other side. So the entire engine and rear wheel go up and down.
Okay, so that's
the engine and rear wheel stay there. You go up
but I'm saying
and down.
It's not a hub motor, though.
It is not a hub motor, no.
Cool.
I believe it's a gear-driven electric motor.
Oh, so you get a shift again. So you have transmission.
No, it's not. It's just a direct.
Oh, okay. Oh, direct drive. Got it. Yeah. Oh, okay, got it. So another nice thing about just overall electric scooters from an electric design standpoint is that you have basically the big lump of area where all the bike's stuff is: motor, inverter, battery, and because of the way scooters just kind of are. All the battery is going to be housed in that area. It would make it very easy to design one where you can pop the seat up, take the battery out, and bring it inside to charge it or hot swap it or whatever. Just as a general design feature, like scooters make that easier.
Yeah, true. And although Vespa does not have a removable battery, so
seems like an obvious thing to change, in my opinion, but.
I mean, it's using the electric car model where you plug the vehicle into a charger.
That's fine. I like having an onboard charger on there, but this is what some of the new people making things are saying. Oh, we're going to have removable batteries, and they're all trying to tout that feature, which some people may want, some people will not want. And
actually, I think I do need to make a correction. I think there is a belt drive on the electric. I'm not positive. I'd have to see an exploded view of the transformer.
Vespa have really perfected that variable belt drive.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see them giving it up in a hurry.
Yeah,
because it is very, very good indeed.
Yeah, and it works I'm sure it works very well with an electric motor just as well.
Oh God, yeah.
Gas. Yeah.
Yes.
You're not sharing the screen on that.
Interesting.
You're not sharing that screen on that.
No, you're not supposed to be commentating on what I'm not sharing.
I'm just trying to make sure.
You're giving away all my secrets, man.
I didn't give anything away, so you're not sharing that part of your screen.
I'm doing the behind the scenes thing.
All right, I'm sorry. Trying to look out for your best interests.
Are we going to see?
Liza.
Are we going to see pictures naked, Liza?
No.
Well, I was going to say.
No, I keep those on my other. Oh wait, John has my other computer. Shoot! Dang it, John! Do not open the folder that says Beaver Pootie.
Oh my God! God help us all.
Yeah.
Anyway, Liza, do you want to hear about some other electric scooters that I found in Smith?
Yeah, we do need to wrap it up. We're getting in on time, but tell us what
else is going on. I haven't even gone the rest of the industry yet.
I know.
Right. So there are a few others that are out there that I think are worth looking at. Now, there's one that I don't know how available it is in the U.S., but it looks like there's one distributor in South Dakota that carries this bike.
Oh, really?
This is a Spanish-made bike called a Rieju Nuke.
Okay, if you can't pronounce it, you shouldn't be selling it here.
Well, I didn't name the company. It's Rieju.
That's Rieju. Yeah, they've been making bikes forever.
Oh. Yes, and they now have an electric scooter that has an 8 kilowatt motor that their website says is capable of 71 miles an hour. And it has. I don't know.
Not sure I buy that.
Well, their website is rieju.es, rieju.es. You can check it out there for yourself. Mm-hmm. They're claiming top speed of 71 miles an hour, a range between 75 and 175 miles, depending on how many batteries you stick on the thing. They're claiming a charge time of between 1.8 and 5 hours, depending on
how many batteries you stick on there.
Yeah.
Bagel, are you going to be the first cross-country scooterist? Is this the bike?
Scooterists?
Yeah, is this going to be Cross country
I don't know.
electric scooterist? Is this the bike?
It's not quite up to that range yet.
I think Bagel's going to
But-
DIY his own first.
No,
Maybe.
seriously. I mean, we know a lot of people who've done firsts because in the electric industry, it's wide open.
Sure. Right.
Bagel, you're the guy. If anybody
If anybody was
gonna
going to do it on a scooter,
do it on a scooter,
ought to be me,
on
right.
an electric scooter, you're the guy.
and it's something I've thought about, and someday I would consider it. It's
Dude,
it's got to be
You
feasible.
should
Though.
reach out to Riehu,
We'll see.
Reach out to him,
Maybe.
give him
Maybe.
your bio, and say, "Would you loan me a bike to go cross country on?"
Yeah.
Yeah, if
And-
you want.
Yeah,
Good.
but we'll see. You know, but this actually seems like it's a pretty nice bike based on the specs that they're showing, and really is kind of giving the BMW a run for its money from what I'm seeing. Although I am very skeptical, like you are, Morgan, about the fact that they have an 8 kilowatt motor, and
Yeah.
they're saying it's capable of 71 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with that one.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but if whatever they have is giving that kind of performance, that does sound very appealing.
I can tell you that Reyehu are a legit manufacturer. When I lived in southern Spain, which God was the late 80s, there were like a gazillion Reyehus touring
Yep.
around, and they were like the sporty mopeds that all the cool kids wanted to ride.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, they're a very long established and legit Spanish manufacturer.
Yeah, so I'd be interested to learn more about this
Yeah.
Riehu Nuke and see what that's all about. Another bike that I found is called the Zap i300.
Zap Brannigan.
What?
Yeah, ZAPP. Like
Zap
Roger and Zap.
i300?
i300, yeah. This one has a 14 kilowatt motor that is capable of 60 miles an hour, it
PPs.
says. I did not find a whole lot of information about it, but it did sound interesting. There also are a couple of manufacturers that came up when you were talking about electric bikes, motorcycles, who are also making electric scooters. First one I found is Horwin, who makes a scooter called
Yeah,
the EK3.
That's the one that I brought up that was on that list.
Which one?
The Horwin is what we started
Oh, okay.
this.
Well, no, he's different than the
No.
CR6. They have several other
okay.
models of
Yeah,
things.
this
as we
is
saw.
this is the Horwin EK3, and this one is capable of 60 miles an hour and a 63-mile range.
Does that one have a transmission too?
I don't know. I didn't find a whole lot of details on that one.
I have to say, I'm looking at this
And-
Zap,
Yes.
and I'm disappointed that they've chosen styling over function and have no cargo.
I don't like it.
No
Yeah.
cargo at all, and they just have a big empty open space above the rear
They
wheel.
could have had more batteries or storage or anything.
Well,
Perhaps
I don't know.
at
Unless
some
there's an
stage
rack,
in the future,
maybe
they're
there's
going to
a,
sell fitted luggage that's
Well,
in there.
or maybe
you know-
there's an accessory rack that attaches onto there. Who knows?
When you're talking about scooters, when I was down, Emma, was I with you or was I with Jim when we went to Hollywood Electrics? I think I was with Jim. And they had these scooters, Morgan, there that have like basically a pickup truck on the rear. It's a single seat with like a pickup truck rear and an electric scooter. I'm like, I love it.
Nice.
All function.
But you know, we
Rob Harlan a note and
kind of
ask him.
navigated onto scooters. Morgan, let's get back to bikes.
Well, we actually have to wrap up. We got to leave something for him to talk
God
about.
almighty!
Well, Morgan, what I'm getting is there have not been huge changes in technology. There's been changes in design and in players.
Actually, well, there was. I was saving the good stuff.
Okay, tell us the.
There's a couple of refinements that are quite nice, but the other things I wanted to say is that there's a whole lot of records out there to be set that are open in the electric world. A buddy of mine, Diego, who was here, who bought his Livewire just like in the last month or two, did the very first official Cannonball run on his Livewire.
He came in to talk about it before he left.
Yeah. Okay. So, he just, there's other records out there. If you're looking to set records, electric has a unique opportunity. The last thing I'll say about the Livewire is, with the price drop, it's now competitive in the market price range with the top end Zeros, the Energicas.
And we didn't even mention like the Damon.
It's not a thing yet.
Okay, but there's other announced.
It's got to become a
players.
thing until it's in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too interested in the concept phase stuff.
Okay.
Energica, what they did recently, there's been a number of refinements. The nicest one recently was they call it the EMCE bike. It's the Energica Maple co-engineered.
I have to stop there. You're not saying it right. It's
MSA
Energica.
Energica. Yes, I said
Energica.
Energica. Okay. All right. Let me adopt Liza pronunciation. So the Energicas. Yeah. So
Energica.
Energica.
traditionally, the Energica's motor and inverter were supplied by a company in Oregon called Cascadia Motion, and they make really good stuff. They decided to partner up with a company and co-engineer their own motor and inverter. And in doing so, they accomplished several things. First off, they knocked off like 22 pounds off the design.
Mhm.
They got rid of the oil bath the motor was using to cool itself and merged that with the water glycol coolant that's in the inverter. So it's now the motor's running cooler and it's lighter and it's more powerful. So it's now what was essentially 150 horsepower is now 169 horsepower. And because when they changed the battery configuration and made those lighter, and now with this change to the motor inverter, the bikes have basically shed 70 pounds. So one of the big things about the Energicas people always complain about is they're so much heavier than the Zeros or the Livewire. Now they're all pretty much the same. Like the new curb weight of the Energica EMC bikes is 573. The Livewire is coming in at 569. And the Zero by itself stock, the top end SRS, there's configurations. You have an empty pocket or the battery module or the charging module in there. Without those, with the empty pocket, it's 512, I think, on the site. But if you add in a battery, you're up at 560 or so. So all the bikes are very, very similar prices and weights, which just comes down to features. Do you want the biggest battery, the fastest charging, the most power, or do you like the quiet belt sound or the, it's pretty cool that they're super competitive right now in terms of features.
I got a question for you. You had brought some up, so I'm going to give you the little stink eyes if you're allowed to talk about it. A motorcycle that is no longer being made. One of the
Ramo?
No, you said that you had a story.
Oh, I've met some more people who were.
Mission was out of San Francisco, right?
Mission Motorsports was
they were one of the early players.
They were Jay Leno's Garage and all this feature stuff. They were an offshoot of Joby, some of the Joby corporations, like Joby Aviation, who have these electric powered vertical takeoff plane stuff that are also local, very, very cutting edge.
Well, they've been gone like almost 10 years now.
Mission's been gone for, I think like 2015 is when they shut down.
Yeah.
But they had these really impressive, like way ahead of their time specs. I recently found out from someone who was really close into all this. Yeah, that was all smoke and mirrors. They didn't have anything. Like there is one Mission RS bike, and I know I've found the owner. He's a very, very nice guy, and I've been told if I reach out to him and ask, I'll be able to see the bike up close. But like, it has a fraction of what was supposed to be in it. It's a lame duck. It wasn't real. And I do know that if you wanted to mention Damon very proudly bought their IP, Mission's IP recently, and that's been like they've been touted. And now that I know that there wasn't anything there, I'm like, ooh, what does this mean? So
interesting.
Yeah,
I've been accused of speculating on things that and having an opinion before. So I'm going to wait and hold off and not say anything about Damon until we actually see something on the ground, because I do have strong opinions, but they are my opinions.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of where the high end electrics are right now. The other ones that people are watching for, again, I just said I said I wouldn't do this, but everyone's I'll say they won't shut up about the Saunders Metacycle.
Okay.
And that's a commuter thing. It's not a scooter. It is a $5,000 brushed aluminum kind of avant-garde frame, big hole in the center of it where they're offering accessories. Removable battery. They say it'll do up to 80 miles an hour.
This is when you say hole in the middle, it's from front to back.
No, No, that's the drag race thing. This is a big triangular cutout through in the right where the motor where an engine would be. You're gonna pop it up on the screen if you want to.
Well,
Saunders SONDRS Metacycle, but it's they claim it'll do up to 80 miles and or up to 80 miles an hour. It won't do both, definitely not. It's a very minimalistic looking thing. But people are basically super excited because of the $5,000 price point and the prospect of doing some highway miles on it because they say it'll do 80. Saunders is a company that's been making electric bicycles for years, and they have yep, there you go, a big hole in the frame.
Okay.
And they've got a questionable track record on delivery rates, but they claim they'll have them out, I think, by the end of this year.
It's got a big hole in it.
Yeah, it does. So right below that is the battery. It's I think a 3 or 4 kilowatt hour battery. There's a hub motor, and they're claiming you can put accessories and like an extra battery module or maybe a charging module or something in the hole. But right now it's just a hole.
Well, and I forget where I was saying, I don't know. I might have been browsing on YouTube. It's an electric motorcycle that's going to set a new land speed record, they're saying, and they have a hole down the middle. So where the headlight would be is a gaping hole that continues throughout the whole frame. The whole point being that
throw things down
the air just passes right down the middle.
Yeah, it's a one-off.
So you're basically riding on a giant pipe.
Yeah. It's a giant tube.
It's interesting.
It's a one-off kind of gimmick for the sake of it. I don't know if it'll work or not. Yeah,
but electric motorcycles are allowing there to be unique configurations and design.
Right. Don't try and turn with it.
Okay. Well,
and also, just you'll have to get back in the podcast, but Shay Nyquist just took his electric streamliner to
yes, when he was building it, we went to see him.
Yeah, well, he took it to Bonneville, and I'm very curious what the results of that are. And I don't know because I haven't really chatted with him, but he's a local boy, and I'm sure he would love to recount his adventures.
Emma, did you go there with me, Shay Nyquist and Morgan Hill, when he was building? Had this concept.
It looks really good right now.
I would never finished.
Yeah, I saw some of his recent videos before he went out. That bike looks really good.
Yeah. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, I've stayed in touch with Shay. Really, really nice guy. But there is just something I want to broach the subject of. And I mean, it's obvious, perhaps to you, Morgan, but it is worth talking about very, very briefly. And it's about performance and range. And it applies as much to electric bikes as to internal combustion bikes. Everyone knows I've got a history with big Suzukis. And back in 80, I was riding a GS 1100, which did 45 to 50 to the gallon and 140 miles an hour, but not at the same time. And exactly the same thing applies to electric bikes. If you have a bike that has X hours range and X top speed, that range doesn't necessarily apply to the top speed. It applies to the cruising speed. If you ride that thing flat out, you're going to get a considerably smaller range. Agreed?
Oh, yeah. I would say the problem is exacerbated on an electric. Because it's much more apparent. Like the numbers become much more glaringly dropped. Like, it's supposed to have a 100-mile range, but I pinned it 30.
Any
30
car
miles.
you buy comes with two ranges, city and highway.
Yeah,
I mean it's the same electric that is on a gas vehicle.
What I would estimate for the whole Saunders Metacycle, they say it'll go up to 80 miles just based on that battery pack. I would expect you take it on the highway. I'm talking legit highway, 75 miles an hour, whatever. You're going to get maybe 20, 25 miles. That's my estimates.
Right.
Based on knowing what I know about this stuff.
And before anybody accuses me of having a bias against electric bikes, exactly the same rules apply to an internal combustion engine. Yeah. It's very, very rare that you will get a bike that does exactly the same to the gallon flat out as it does when you're cruising.
Oh yeah,
there are one or two, I gotta say, and they do tend to be the smaller bikes.
My gets pretty much 49
Right.
miles to a gallon, whatever I'm doing. So
Yeah.
But you know, the KLR is in such a soft state of tune that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, how they're polar opposites in terms of how they electric versus gas, city versus highway. On highways, gas motors do very well because they get into their cruising gear and they cruise and they get very efficient. You know,
Right,
they
and you can
low RPMs
Back up
and
the throttle.
right. And in city, they're idling all the time and they're accelerating. So they're burning. They get a horrible range in the city. The exact opposite is true as electric because with city, it idles. The bike is turned off essentially. Slow moving speeds, it can crawl forever. You will get. That's why the numbers are inverted. So they say like up to 80 miles range. That's where it's thinking slow city speeds for like the Saunders.
Mhm.
And but highway, I'm 20, 30.
Yeah.
Well, Morgan, I wanted to thank you for coming in and giving us an update. The thing I like about this the most, I think that what we learned today, and the thing I'm most excited about is that Bagel's going to go set a record on an electric scooter.
Yes.
I think we have decided this is the plan.
I'd love to. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Let's make that happen.
I want to. So we did a group ride from Anaheim to Reno. I want Bagel on the next one. For we were all electric. We did a. I want Bagel in on that.
I would love to do that.
Hey guys,
I think
yeah.
one final comment. I think we're going to have to address the issue of power generation at some point and look at both renewable energy plus some other sources, because I think as long as we're burning coal, which is what 40% of the way we get electricity in the U.S., we're still polluting the environment. So,
Sure.
so I think I'm excited to see some advancements in power generation also that really facilitate electric vehicles.
Definitely.
I think we have time for one email. I'm gonna read, and this is a good one. Emma, you may recall Joe Rubino, who visited the garage not too long ago. He says, when I last saw you, I rolled in on my Harley Heritage Softail Classic from a 10-hour ride down from Fortuna, California.
Oh, I remember him very well. He was a lovely man.
He said, I spent a few hours chatting and I stayed for the podcast. During the podcast, I was asked if I had any plans for a new bike, to which I answered I was looking to sell my 2017 CB 1100EX and to get a CB 500X. I know it's a bike that, Emma, you recommend a lot. He says, well, it turns out these days a CB 500X is harder to find than a unicorn. In addition, after riding my Harley for 2,735 miles, I realized it was great on the highway, but terrible for doing a spirited run in the twisties. I want to applaud. He's the first Harley owner who recognized that.
That's actually step one in a 12-step
I know.
program, Liza.
Because he says he really got tired of scraping floorboards on that trip.
Yep.
So, with my nostalgic desire to own a Harley all but gone, I sold it and went on the search for a street-oriented adventure bike with a reasonably low seat height.
Oh.
See, this comes back to what we were talking about earlier. That's when I happened upon a 2022 Triumph Tiger 900 GT Pro being wheeled onto the floor at my local dealership. It was far more expensive than I wanted to spend and had far more gadgets than I was looking for, but it was there. I took it for a spin and fell in love. So I bought it and I sold my CB 1100 EX too. Isn't that interesting? A Harley and a CB 1100X replaced by a Triumph Tiger 900 GT. He says, yes, I am down to a single motorcycle and I need to start considering what my next bike will be. I attached a picture of my Tiger. I've kitted it out with a skid plate, handlebar risers, engine guards, and a GV top case for commuting to work. On order are pannier racks and soft panniers for touring and light off-road riding. I'm looking forward to trying off-roading, and if it sticks, there will likely be a dual sport in my future. Thanks for the weekly entertainment and information you provide. This is a beautiful bike.
You see, Liza, this is an example of the guy who was polycyclist and he's adopted
I know.
monocyclism.
I know. I figured that's why I chose this email. It kind of encapsulated all the things we're talking about.
He'd sowed his seeds throughout the years and decided he wanted to stick to find the one.
I know. I thought that was funny.
Well, it's a beautiful story.
It is a beautiful story because, he tried the all-American Yankee gal, he tried the geisha gal, and he settled on an English rose. And
Aw.
it doesn't get any better than that, does it?
No.
Nice.
So, guys, you
Yeah.
know that I'm going to be gone the next 3 weeks.
Good.
Yes.
We'll be glad to see the back of you.
I saw that, Morgan. No fist bumping. No playing ding dong, which is dead. None of that. Come
All
on.
right, party at the garage, everybody.
Finally, we can set up the model train station and play with all the trains.
No, Liza, we are going to miss you terribly. Be safe, please.
Yes, please do.
You've got, I mean, everything's pretty much buttoned down. The podcast is going to be run by John.
Mhm.
And so we're all going to be on our best behavior and not give him too much of a hard time. I hear you have somebody extremely talented to run the garage in your absence.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah, who would that be?
Cody Webb.
Cody Webb. I see. I should
No.
point out, I will be running the garage, so everyone will do exactly what I say.
Just like the poor gentleman came in today to
Mom.
change tires. And it was only till after, I forget who, someone out in the garage, or Henry or somebody's like, oh, was it you,
I
Morgan?
saw
Like,
your Nomar system.
you have a tire changer? Wait, you have
I
all
was
the
out there
tools?
with tire
You had the
irons.
guy out there with tire irons working on the ground.
No.
I said, that's how Emma prefers.
No,
Uh,
and it's not. It's actually, he requested, because he does real adventure riding on that bike, and he actually requested, he wanted to change his tires using the tools that he had,
Yeah.
and
Nice.
no more.
That's good training.
And so I trained him how to run the irons,
Nice.
and there is no better training. And you know, occasionally, even at the shop with my hydraulic tire changer, I'll still get down and dirty and run the irons once in a while, just to remind myself I can do it. And you know, it keeps my arms nice and big. Smith and Wesson,
Lesson.
the gun show.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and you guys, I'm so excited, Bagel. You haven't heard this yet. Moyne and I got a full film crew coming with us on this trip.
Holy cow.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah, we're bringing a full film crew to capture this. I think now more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that I have family members myself are like, you have a death wish going to Pakistan right now, right? For a couple of reasons. With COVID just flaring up again,
Yeah.
a lot of people are like not traveling. And then you have
Mhm.
everything going on with the Taliban in Afghanistan. And it seems like really, really bad time to go over there.
Mhm. Yeah.
But part of the reason of going there, and Bagel, you've been there, you know, it's not like that at all. I feel extremely, extremely safe over there. Safer than I do here for COVID and and for everything else. I mean, we're well taken care of. Really looking forward to this trip. And then also the other thing I was telling some of the women, for most people to be a part of a big change, a societal change, it requires force or weapons or, you know, something. But we're just being ourselves and being women riding. And by just being women riding and being visible, we are part of the change that's happening in that society. And that's such a great thing that we can just be and experience the country and be part of that change. So I think it's really relevant on all these fronts. And I'm really looking forward to going. I'll be sending some updates and pictures through the Recycle page on Facebook, I'm sure, and sending some messages, emails to y'all.
Yeah.
But I want to thank everyone for covering while I'm gone. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
Very cool.
Well, safe
Yeah.
travels
Well,
and have a wonderful trip.
Yeah.
My request for
Give my
you.
regards to Pakistan.
Yes. I would like to give, albeit a very vague, weekly update on your progress. So will you check in with me towards the end of next week, even if it's just 1 or 2 lines, so I can let everyone know how you're doing.
I'll try. As Bagel knows, you don't always have Wi-Fi, let alone power.
Right. But
Yeah.
if you're able,
Yep.
So it's only every few days that you really
yes.
have
Yeah.
time to do that. But yeah,
Well, check in when you can, dear.
I'm excited.
You
I'm going to
should.
be riding the perfect adventure bike for Pakistan, the
Oh, yeah?
CB 150F
Nice.
By Atlas Honda.
by Atlas Honda.
Yes.
So, big thanks to everyone who sent in some emails. John, hopefully you'll be able to catch some of those. We only got time to read one. Like I said, there's so many people who've been sending in their own issues they had with big bikes and how they dealt with it. So, hopefully you can print some of those out and have those ready. I'd like to have those read. And thanks.
We can do funny voices. I want that to come back.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Now we can do the funny voices. And if I can just briefly say to everyone who has sent me gifts and cards for Mototown, thank you all. It really was amazingly touching. I've received cards, I've received photographs, I've received a USB stick with some great music on it. It's just absolutely wonderful. I'm beyond touched and beyond thrilled. So thank you all.
and so do you have a website?
No, not yet.
Do you have a Facebook page?
No.
She's a
You have
business
an
card,
Instagram page?
business card with a phone number. That's all she's got.
Yeah, and that's I've got more work than I know what to do with. It's all word of mouth. If you want to check on the progress of Mototown, you
Mhm.
can follow me on Instagram. It's
There it
Emma,
is.
Emma Booton 1962. Oh, I just gave away the year I was born.
Jeez, Emma.
Yeah, EMMABOOTON 1962. You'll see a lovely picture of me sitting on Chiefy, who's a 48 Indian, and follow me. And I do, I don't post everything, but if I've got something interesting coming through, like a Trident that was bought brand new in 1973 or 4, or the Vincents that I'm doing, I'll always post them on Instagram.
I'll tell you what I think people want, including myself. Help me out, guys. Mototown t-shirts.
Oh,
Ooh,
I'm
yes.
waiting for it right now.
Or
Most
Mototown
definitely.
underwear,
When
right,
are we
Emma?
going to see Mototown
Oh.
t-shirts?
You know what? I'll have a word with my printer.
Yes.
The thing is with t-shirts, I want to make it clear that I want to do Mototown t-shirts, but it's quite a chunk of change, because if you get business cards or stickers made up, it's $50 and you get like 100 of them. If you want t-shirts made up, you get 50 t-shirts made up, it's $1,000. And that's quite a check to write. So, and then you've got to speculate on what size people are and stuff like that. So the Mototown t-shirts are coming, I promise. As soon as I can say, okay, I'm going to take $1,000, get 50 t-shirts made, I will hawk them mercilessly. They're going to be black. They're going to have the small Mototown logo on the front and the large Mototown logo on the back in electric blue. This is my color scheme. So they are coming. It's just
Well,
me being
When
scared with-
they do come, I think, and I just checked, I found a great domain name that is available. How
Yeah.
about twopump.com?
Two pump.
Yeah, twopump.com.
Oh wow!
What?
Oh, my.
Yes.
Perfect
oh
for
my.
Mototown. Well, you work on two pumpers, right?
Well, it's funny when I go out and get myself all dolled up to go out at night. I wear not one pump, but a
But two pumps.
two pump. One on my
Oh,
left,
my.
one on my right foot.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh
All right.
my! We have Mr. Takai in the house.
Oh my.
All right. I think we're ready. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, especially our Patreon subscribers. We had some new ones this week. I appreciate it so much. You're helping us out. And also, if you want a t-shirt, we have our Zazzle page, Zazzle Recycle Santa Cruz, Recycle Garage on Zazzle. And we've sold some more t-shirts recently. Bagel, we've had a couple go out that are the green, like you got the army green.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it looks good.
Cool.
So thanks again, everyone. And all I ask, John, I know you're going to be running the show, and Emma, you're running the garage. I just want you guys to take care of Bagel while I'm gone.
Oh, well,
Because he is the best greeter whenever he comes up on screen. And just like with John's wife, I don't want you to ride him and I come back and he's all different.
Oh my God! Can we
What?
stop?
Oh, God.
Can we stop going on about riding John's wife? It's extremely inappropriate. It really is. She's the most charming woman, and she's about to spend a great deal of money at Moto Town. So she demands respect.
Okay.
Indeed.
All right. Thanks, everyone. This is Liza.
Morgan.
Emma, darling!
Bagel.
Stumpy John.
And we are out of here.
Cool.
cool.
Cool.